put the flywheel on and the clutch. And on the next video, I'll go ahead and do the transmission. I already took off the axles to get the axles out the way, so that way I can get more space to go underneath and mess with the flywheel and the clutch. So that's what I'm gonna do right now. I'm gonna get underneath, draw on the flywheel and the clutch. This is what more than likely you're gonna need. If you remember my last video, I labeled my flywheel and clutch bolts, and I put them in this little bag, so they're all in here. So you'll need your bolts, torque wrench, your clutch, your pressure plate, and the flywheels underneath there. With this kit, it came with a an alignment tool too, so make sure your kit has that. If not, you're gonna need one to align your clutch. So put this underneath. Now, let me make sure I get the right socket. Of course, for this, for these bolts, you're gonna need a 12-point socket. You can see, and I believe it's a 12-point socket, 14 or something. I'll find that and I'll be right back. So these are the two bolts you have. You got the flywheel bolt and then the bolts for the pressure plate. Flywheel, pressure plate. So the flywheel bolt is going to be a 12-point 17. And then the one with the pressure plate is going to be another 12-point, and this one's going to be a 10. Along with those, I got one of these because my torque wrench has a 1/2 inch. This is converted to a smaller size. What's this? I don't need this. This is so I can put it on the torque wrench and it'll fit to convert it so I can torque them down. So I'm going to take all my bolts and bring them down there with me.
Can I stop it?
Yeah.
You're gonna be down like that?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna come up in here. Is here good?
Mm-hmm.
Right here?
So is there rag somewhere?
Yeah.
I don't think this has one of those guide bearings in here. Doesn't look like it. But let's put this on first.
Those have to be a certain, like, that you're using the torque wrench, so it has to be a certain amount of tight pressure.
Yep.
Is it foot pounds or hand pounds? Is that
Foot-pounds.
foot pound? Is that what it's called?
There's a foot pounds and an inch pound.
Oh, inch pound.
Right, so the torque spec for the flywheel is going to be 76 foot-pounds. So I'm going to start off at doing it at 50. I'm doing it at 50. And then I'll jump to 76. Just like when you're doing the wheels on your car, it has to go at a pattern. So we'll do it like this, like this, like this, like this, like this. So we'll do it like boom, 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 boom.
Like a start.
Yeah, like a start. So, to keep this flywheel from moving, I'm going to put this in here.
Can you hold that?
That was 50. So now I'm going to go all the way back up to 76, where it's supposed to be.
How did people do it before there was a torque wrench?
Right here. So this is going to be 76 down, the final torque. That's 76 foot-pounds. So now we're going to do the clutch and pressure plate, and the pressure plate bolts are 19 foot-pounds. But before I do that, I'm going to clean this off with some brake clean. Probably best to do this with a clean rag, so that way you don't put grease back on it. So let's use a clean rag. Let's see how much grease we can get off of this.
It's just the outside plate?
The part that looks shiny,
Shiny,
the brush part. Look at that. All that was still on there. Okay.
I remember.
Okay. So there's a specific way this goes on. So you're gonna want this facing the transmission and this facing the flywheel. Some clutches come where it says to flywheel. Some do. This is where your alignment tool comes into play. This is gonna act like the shaft in your transmission, so that when you put your transmission in, it goes in aligned perfectly. And this is gonna go in through the flywheel into the motor, like this. This part's gonna go through there. Pause that.
Yeah.
All right. So I gotta take the flywheel off again. I'll show you why. A lot of you probably already know why, but I'm gonna explain it. So, behind this flywheel, we have ourselves what I call a guide bearing. It might be called a guide bearing, it might not be called a guide bearing, but this helps. This got pressed in, and it helps the shaft of the transmission stay straight and not wiggling around when it's in gear. So we're gonna take this and press it in there ever so gently with a rubber mallet.
Is it gonna go flush?
Yeah. There's a lip on the other side that's gonna stop it whenever it's in position. See, there's a lip in here. Also a baby spider. There's a lip right here in the flywheel where it's gonna stop and it's not gonna be able to go anymore. And it's pretty much there. So grabbing our alignment tool again, make believe this is coming out of the transmission. This is how exactly it looks, the end of the shaft from the transmission. So this, imagine you're looking from the inside of the motor out. When the shaft of the transmission comes in, it aligns with that. So this is all the gap that the end of the transmission would have had wiggling around when you were in gear, and you would have heard weird noises, not knowing where it was coming from. So if you look, the outer ring is stationary with the flywheel, and the inner ring rotates with the shaft of the transmission. Nice and smooth, so it'll go nice and straight. So now when we put the flywheel in with the alignment tool is going to stay nice and flush too, and keep the clutch nice in place. Now we're back where we were. Get all the dust off of this. Let's get our clutch, our aligning tool. Boom. Look at that. Good to go.
It looks so nice.
So now, we do what we did to the flywheel and clean off this part of it. Look at that. From the factory, it comes lubricated from the factory, so it doesn't rust while it's getting transported to you. So that's the stuff we're taking off, and then by cleaning it, it gives it better grip to the clutch when it's time to grab. There we go. Now, on the flywheel, there's these little metal nipples that come out that align with three of these holes. So you're gonna see me putting the pressure plate on and looking for the right alignment to those little nipples, and then they'll come out some of these holes here. These right here, these little nipples right here line up with some of the holes that are here on this pressure plate to hold it in place. It looks to be the smaller holes. There we go. That's it. Now that the pins are in the holes, you can see one coming out here. There's one coming out here, one coming out down here, and then this one coming out right here. See it? And it's holding the pressure plate in place. And then we got the alignment tool aligning the clutch. It's nice and stiff. I can't even, maybe I could pull it out and it's not gonna move anywhere. I'm just gonna leave it there for now. And then we go ahead and put our pressure plate bolts through the flywheel, through the pressure plate and flywheel. It's screwing into the flywheel.
How many of those are there?
There should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So now we go to 19. Give it one more go with the alignment tool.
With the screwdriver and stuff?
Yeah. And clean her up, make her look pretty.
Okay, think that.
And that's it. And that is done. Flywheel on, clutch on, pressure plate on, everything's torqued and ready for the transmission. So there you have it. We're done for this video. I took out the axles, gave myself access to the motor. We got the flywheel in, we got the clutch in, pressure plate, everything's torqued down. We got that guide thing in for the transmission. We're good for now. Next video is going to be putting the transmission in and probably cleaning off those axles, cleaning them off of the rust that it has. And after I clean those off, I'll wrap them up and put them away, so that way we can get to the next step, which would more than likely be the replacing all this old rusty stuff like suspension, brake pads, rotors, what else? The hubs. I'm gonna get new hubs. Everything's gonna be fresh up here. So that's not for another couple videos, but what to expect on the next video is transmission and the cleaning of these axles. Thanks for watching. Peace.
Why so serious?
It was the volume. I pressed the volume up and it stopped the video. Okay.